Today is the 20th of January. Today I feel like I suck. It's not love. Let me move past feeling and talk about observations. Even though I'm putting in a lot of work, it seems that it's not really moving the needle. Even though I'm sleeping more, it still is very challenging. My eyes are so fatigued from looking at screens that the rest I'm getting seems to not even be enough. Starting to wear glasses. Oh well, I literally just couldn't sleep last night, but I got in bed at like 7:30 p.m. I was just done with the day at some point. Frustrated as hell. But around 1:30 a.m., I woke up and I really just couldn't go back to sleep. I even did something that I don't usually do, which is take melatonin. It didn't work. Was still awake until about 4, at which point I probably should have just gotten up and went directly to the gym. But I figured I should still give myself some more rest. So I went back to sleep until 6:30, hence why it's light outside now. Cold shower, lymphatic, dry brushing, made a bit of coffee. I've also broken the coffee machine, which sucks. So we're back to, I think it was me. It's easier to just take responsibility for it, But maybe it was someone else, I don't know. Coffee machine is broken, expensive as hell. Italian coffee machine, espresso machine. But it's still under warranty, so we're just waiting for the repairman to come. Who knows when that'll be? Welcome to Germany, right? So back to traditional coffee making on the stove. How dare I even talk about that as a problem? How dare it even make it into my dialogue? It's such bullshit. So petty of me, but anyways. So yeah, had coffee, cold shower, dry lymphatic brushing, came out the door. Now it's like 8 o'clock. Those 3 things took me an hour and a half, man. That's what I'm frustrated about. It's like, what speed? I'm trying to get more speed, especially in the business. There's some really important things that I'm making progress on them daily, but they are really taking me time. And I know that I shouldn't compare, but it's good to have benchmarks and baselines. I just look at other businesses, other founders that I know, and they just have speed. Like their operating system is very on point. And I don't know. They just seem to be, maybe it's awful that I'm even just talking about myself like this, but I'm just keeping it real. Like I'm investing in leveling up. I invest in career coaching. I invest in therapy. I invest in having technical people inside of the business, which honestly, that's what feels like it slows us down so much. But they put in steps, infrastructure that's very necessary. And it's just crazy, like in a high growth startup, right? If you want to do anything the correct way, you got to get your lawyers involved. Like the tiniest changes have such big implications. And so, and our lawyer, she's not the most expensive, but I think she costs like $500 an hour, which is really fucking good. And she's a bona fide tech startup lawyer. So it's like, okay, you want to hire a new person. You want to fire somebody. You want to allocate new stock options to someone. So it's just, no one tells you going in just how expensive it is. And if they did, you probably wouldn't get started. So, I probably would because I'm a sick fuck, and I know just how big this business opportunity is. But along the way, figuring shit out is a crazy game. Hold on, that is really icy right here. You know, I don't want to talk to you about this stuff. Why is it? No, I won't say no one. I dislike generalizations, so I better stop talking in generalizations. It is uncommon to come across someone like myself who's willing to talk very real about the pressures of the risk involved with like payroll. You want to hire more people? Well, payroll risk. You want to protect equity? Well, then you better have a lot of cash to burn to bring on great people, because cash is one of the greatest incentivizers, one of them, apart from more intangibles like a great mission that gets people fired up, or having them working with other really talented people, having a great culture. So yeah, guys, today I'm just feeling like, even though I have wonderful people supporting me, I feel alone as a founder, and it sucks. And I'm going to the gym, as inconvenient as it is, because it matters to me to become the kind of person that goes to the gym every day, until that shit until it becomes my identity, you know? I'm angry at myself that I've let myself gain so much weight, you know? Now I gotta fix it. Another thing to fix, because I was so-called all in on the business. It's bullshit. So anyways, with all that being said, I'm aware that I still need to show grace to myself. The world is hard enough on me as it is, so I might as well be kind. It's icy as hell out here, guys. So icy. Let me find something beautiful about today. Today I'm grateful for having legs that work. Ooh, paradise. My fingers work, my voice works. My eyes, they're a little strained, but they work. I can see you, or I can see me seeing you. And I'm grateful that I'm not in the middle of a fucking war zone somewhere. I'm like Afghanistan, I don't know. That's it for now. That was a lot. Usually this lasts like 4 or 5 minutes, but it's 9.5 minutes, so cool. I'll edit out all the fluff. Today is January 28th. I made the crazy decision 4 years ago to launch a company called We Discover, with the whole objective to activate local spaces in a city as a cultural entertainment hub. I started doing it out of a real need and pain that I had as an entertainer re-entering the music workforce, which was, even though I had millions upon millions, tens of millions, 25 million streams sold to be exact, across all platforms, on my music, I couldn't get booked. And then when I did get booked, I was offered really bad pay, sometimes like 50 euros, just something like 58 US dollars, to do a show. And not because that's just how they viewed the value of my talent, but in the context of where I was at the time in Valencia, Spain, established bands that outside of Spain could be making 10, 15,000 euros for a 90-minute show were being paid 200 to 500 euros. And so I knew that before I went back into that situation, I needed to test out a different model. And prior to going back into the music market, I was in another startup that I had founded that I've since exited, where we offered brands a platform to get music, custom music, as a marketing campaign from emerging artists, which I'll tell you some other time about the H&M school and how that frustration, my music being played in those spaces without me getting any credit or money, birthed that first startup. But because I had worked with brands already, I understood that companies have pretty big budgets reserved to pay influencers and creators to essentially get a warm introduction to their community with the hopes of their community becoming customers of the brand. And so I had a hypothesis. So what if I could host parties, not concerts, at different commercial spaces such as hotels, restaurants, pubs, promote a brand, get them to give us free products to give out to the audience and money to me the same way they would for online. And from the beginning, it worked very well. I was getting, instead of 200 euros for a show for my 5-piece band to play at a local spot, to 2,000 for integrating a brand, and still we're able to sell tickets and the brand not wanting any of that money because the value we were giving them was so powerful. And so hundreds of paid events later, sponsored events later, 500,000 paid out to creators. We call them cultural ambassadors on our platform. I'm at a junction, a turning point in the business where I have to level up as a person, as an executive, and I'm feeling the discomfort and the pain of needing to have a different strategy, a different game plan, because what got me here isn't what's going to get me to the next level that I know we can play at. It requires significant investment. You have to spend money to make money. You have to know what you don't know as much as possible so that you can go and find people that have that and to fill those gaps. Empower them to make decisions, make sure that they have the tools and the budgets to do their job well. And in my role specifically as a chief executive officer, my responsibility is to make sure we do not run out of money, that we are on a path to profitability and scale, because that's the type of business that we've chosen to be. It was categorized as a high growth startup. We've had a lot of false starts. We've had a lot of people doubt our model. But what's working in our favor is that technology has caught up and is now outpacing us. We have a multi-sided market, but the value proposition for each stakeholder in this value chain is so powerful that there is, at least in most major cities, no shortage of supply or demand. Well, I'm here at the gym today as a part of an exercise called 100 reps, 100 repetitions. Different aspects of my personal and professional life where I need to do something 100 times for me to form the identity of this new person that I'm the architect of. And being in the gym every day is one of them. The body keeps score, and it kept score on me all of last year. Most of last year, I was asleep at the steering wheel, was not listening to my body, was working late hours, eating bad foods, sitting a lot on the computer working. And I looked up and I was 27 kilos overweight, which is something like 80 pounds overweight in a year. I'm not exaggerating. So I'm here today. I'm frustrated as hell, but I'm here. And I'm using the tools that my therapist gave me, which is one of them is, what is my anger showing me? It's showing me that even if I show up every day, I still feel shame and I deal with imposter syndrome, self-doubt, but I act in spite of that. I do it anyways. And another tool she gave me is, what would the anger want me to do? And if you think about it and give a fast answer, it's like, okay, the anger wants me to lash out at someone or say something mean, or wants me to shut down and run away and say fuck everything. But actually, when you look at what's underneath the anger, I need to ask myself why I'm sad and give myself permission to feel it, experience it, but also let it pass through me, and then move into solution phase. What am I doing about it? So subconsciously, I already have been addressing what my anger wants me to do. It wants me to be here right now, exercising. It wants me to be keeping my commitments and my promises. Most importantly, when it's hard and inconvenient. And that's the path, that's the way. And so I finished the cardio. I can't say it makes me feel amazing. I still just feel frustrated as hell, but I did it. Go home, back to my home office, and solve some very complex, complicated problems, because that's what business owners do. And the last thing I'll leave you with is you have to know your roles. So in my case, I have a very tricky situation in my business. I am majority shareholder. I am the chief executive officer. And I also am overseeing product vision and development until we hire a new CPO. So imagine how at different points, decisions that I make I have to understand which hat I'm wearing when I make the decision. Sometimes the decision that the CEO needs to make is not always the one that the majority shareholder, business owner, who does care about preservation of like equity and much long term, when a CEO's responsibility is to optimize for not running out of cash and bringing on the right team members. Which hat would prevail? That seemed like an easy answer. So imagine the level of psychosis, if we just call it for what it really is. The cognitive dissonance. I'm not saying that I'm psychotic, guys. I want to make sure no one from the media or press or whatever the community goes there and says, he's saying he's psychotic. I'm saying that decisions are not always binary. We try to oversimplify something, but you end up giving way to really big trade-offs. But also then another perspective on this is you need to also have speed. You can't stay in decision mode for a long time. So I'm exploring new decision-making frameworks. If you know someone who might resonate with what I'm saying, be sure to share this with them. You can like, subscribe, comment, share. There's still a lot of the day left, and I hope they just keep trending upwards. This channel is about everything surrounding the business, the entrepreneurship. It's about the mindset, the life choices, the creative outlets such as music. I do make music. I'm an artist. I have been. I will always be an artist. But it's about figuring out where everything fits and when. Thanks for watching this video. If you did, I don't know, you might discover this 2 years from now, or tomorrow, or today. Take care.